Morning, Chet. You with us now?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, I apologize. I got stuck in another meeting.
No worries.
I didn't realize y'all were waiting for me.
Of course, we're waiting for you. Do we know if anybody from Chesterfield, City of Richmond, or Hanover are going to join us?
Haven't heard anything from anyone.
I'm in the process of sending them an email, reminding them and including the CVTA agenda link to register.
In the meantime, we can go ahead and get started since it's 9:08 now. So you want to start the recording, Janice? You've already done so.
Yes, I've just started it. We're good.
All right. Good morning, everybody. This is the third meeting of the Central Virginia Transportation Authority Fall Line Working Group. It's February 1st. First off, welcome. And we don't need to read the statement regarding virtual meetings. Is that correct, Chet?
That's correct.
All right. So next will be a roll call for attendance, Janice.
Town of Ashland, Miss Amos.
Here.
Chesterfield County, Miss Smith. Miss Walker. Hanover County, Mr. Badunez. Henrico County Chair Yor.
Here.
Miss Meidler.
Here.
VDOT, Mr. Mann.
Here.
Mr. Riblett.
Here.
Miss McAdory.
Here. Good morning.
Good morning. Plan RVA, Mr. Parsons.
Here.
Mr. Ariel. Mr. Bushing.
Here.
City of Richmond, Miss Clark. And thank you, Mr. Chair. That concludes the roll. I've just checked and we don't have anyone else who's joined while we were doing that.
All right. Let's see. Sharon just sent out an email to Barb, Joe, and Dorana. Hopefully they'll be able to join us. Next item is approval of January 12th meeting minutes. Everybody's had a chance to review. We'll entertain a motion.
This
Sharon.
is Nora. I move approval of the minutes.
Sharon
Nora.
Snyder, second.
Second. All right. A motion a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Next item, open public comment. Do we have anybody registered to speak?
We do not. We have one person, a phone-in listener, but we haven't had anyone indicate that they wish to address the group or submit a comment.
Very good. Thank you, Janice. Next is VDOT update. Shane, Mark, and Liz, will let y'all chime in any order y'all wish. I guess first item as listed is any updates on the state budget.
Yeah, I'll take that one, Todd, if that's okay.
Sure.
Don't really have any updates, so that's kind of an easy one. The General Assembly is still meeting, going through the process, so we don't really have any specific update as it relates to Fall Line Trail. I think it's still in consideration, but nothing specific at this point from General Assembly.
Very good, thank you. Yeah, the update I'd heard through Sports Backers was that there was some consideration of adding an additional trail somewhere else in the state that would be eligible for the funding, but to their knowledge, the funding amount had not been reduced in the budget to date. So that was encouraging.
Yeah, good news. Now I'll pass off to Liz to talk about design guideline progress.
Thanks, Shane. Most of you should have, hopefully all of you got an invite to the stakeholder meeting. The first stakeholder meeting is going to be this Thursday at 1 p.m. What that meeting is going to look like, the consultant has been using this time to kind of do a national and international peer review of best practices. So they're going to come to the table, not necessarily with an outline of design guidelines, but some general ideas and concepts that we should maybe keep in mind. And then we're going to open up discussion and kind of go from there. I don't think we're going to go segment by segment. I think it's going to be more general at this time and kind of get feedback from everybody. And then our next steps will be kind of diving into each segment. Is there anybody that didn't get the invitation that wants to be included? This whole group should have gotten it.
I've received it. And I
Okay.
see Sharon is on here as well.
Yes, I received it too, Liz. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. If anybody didn't, just shoot me an email and I will get you the link. And that's all my update.
Thank you, Liz. Quick question. What's the anticipated timeline for completion of that?
Early May is what we have requested. It's going to be a big push, but that's what we're shooting for.
Okay.
And the main reason for that timeline was for any design build packages that VDOT's going to put together. We need to have those guidelines nailed down. But it should help everybody.
We'll do everything on our end to expedite any reviews of drafts coming out. So,
Okay, that's much appreciated.
Hey, Liz.
Yeah.
Hey, Liz.
Mhm.
That's going to help us all if anybody has any fall line trail applications for Smart Scale too, wouldn't it? Having
Yeah,
come in.
and even outside of Smart Scale, anything related to the Fall Line Trail with any funding source, any designers coming in, having those guidelines to keep everything on the same page is going to be really helpful.
Yeah, because I think there's at least 2 projects in Richmond District that are fall line trail for the TAP program.
Right.
morning, Joe. I see you were able to join us. Okay, next item under VDOT updates, the design build scenarios.
I'll jump in on that one as well. Todd may push off the mark a little bit, but we've had some internal meetings to talk about design build scenarios for the trail. I think we kind of came to the conclusion that it might be best to start off with a single mid-sized design build project this calendar year if we were going to move forward with that, as opposed to multiple at the same time, just based on the current economic conditions, the workload that is already out for contractors, and just some input we got from our design build team downtown. So that's kind of all that we've moved forward with on our end, kind of waiting to get feedback from this group as to what they would like us to look at, if anything. So we're kind of in a little bit of a holding pattern, waiting on some guidance from you guys. So Mark, anything else to add?
One of the other things that we heard from the design build team downtown was that if we can look at some sort of a bundle or project that minimizes impact to utilities and right of way, that could also be more helpful in terms of a successful initial project. And to that end, potentially a project at the northern end or a project at the southern end, or maybe even a combination of both, could potentially yield that.
Okay, so yeah, thank you for that. Any questions, Mark or Shane? I have 2 questions. So Shane, you said the suggestion from downtown was a mid-size project. What kind of cost estimate range is that considered mid-size?
I think we were probably somewhere in the 25 million, give or take 5 or 10 million. I think we could go either way, but probably somewhere in that order of magnitude.
Gotcha.
Mark,
Yeah.
is that what you recall?
Yeah, absolutely. Certainly not firm, but that's absolutely the magnitude that was kicked around.
Okay, that's encouraging to hear. I know for the Capitol Trail, the segments for that, obviously that was done some cases 15 or more years ago, but those design build packages were in that range or slightly less at the time, as I recall.
Yeah, I think, Todd, we were probably more in the 10 million give or take a little bit on the capital trail sections. May have been one that got a little bit higher, maybe 15, but that's kind of where we were on capital trail.
Right. But I know in the spreadsheet that Liz sent out following the last meeting, there were some fairly large segments potentially bundled, and I guess that kind of raised a question on our end is would there be contractors at the state and regional level that would be interested in projects that big that could, I guess, would want to do a trail project. So.
That's the same concerns we heard from our design build folks downtown, was that, you know, if you put $100 million plus out, the smaller firms that may be better suited to handle some of these trail projects would probably not be able to handle that magnitude.
Right. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. So my second questions, you indicated that the recommendation was to do something that didn't have from downtown was to do something that didn't have a lot of right of way or utility impacts. So I'll speak to the northern end. I'm looking at Joe as well, but we know that much of the alignment, most of, not all the alignment through Hanover and upper end of Henrico is along the Dominion corridor. So is that a concern from the standpoint of initial project?
No, I think that'd be a great choice, Todd. Again, anything where we can minimize the right of way. I mean, obviously there's going to be right of way impacts no matter where we go, and but we would hope, you know, obviously some sections are going to have a lot of right of way parcels we got to deal with, and probably starting off on a design build with a section that did not have, you know, 500 parcels would probably be a lot easier to get the ball rolling quickly.
Right. Anybody else have any questions on that effort? Okay, appreciate that. I know I've had conversations with both Chesterfield and the city to kind of see where they were in reviewing the information that y'all sent out following the last meeting. I have not had a chance to talk to Joe, but I know on our end, internal to Henrico, we're trying to get a meeting with the county manager to have further discussions with him on kind of how we want to move forward. So we will be able to update y'all following that discussion.
Hey, Todd, real quick, just to provide an update for everybody. We have not received any questions from any localities for any additional information. We're certainly happy to receive them at any time, but at this point, we don't have any questions or requests for any additional information. So again, we stand ready to provide whatever assistance we can, but at this point, we don't have any additional info.
Understood. Appreciate that, Mark. So yeah, I would anticipate we'll maybe have some better clarity on our end over the next week or two, and we may follow up with you. Joe, I may have a separate call with you at some point in that same time frame. I think we certainly see some synergies on the northern end of potential bundling of something. And obviously we have some sections in a section in Hanover that has a gap that needs to be filled. So I guess one question I have for the VDOT folks is, we know the Chickahominy crossing that's both in Henrico and Hanover has smart scale money. The good news is that's smart scale money that is available currently, and I know that project has had its kickoff meeting. And I know there's also been discussions on trying to keep projects that are not federalized from blending with sections that are federalized. At this point, Chickahominy is federalized because of smart scale. Is there any opportunity to explore the funding, the actual funding for that project in the smart scale program, if there's ability to switch that out or guarantee that it's state only funding and not federal.
Todd, we can certainly raise that question. Generally speaking, the amount of state-only funds are relatively limited, particularly in the smart scale pot. Not a problem for us to ask, and we will certainly do that. But I don't know that I would hold a whole lot of hope in us being able to commit to that smart scale project being a non-federally eligible project. But we will ask.
Understood. And yeah, I mean, that's a $5 million project. So in the grand scheme of the size of smart scale, it's a drop in the bucket. And if we had that opportunity, I think that would be able to, as we all know, accelerate the schedule for that project. And then if we could bundle it with a segment on either side or one side, then that would give us a potentially good sized project in the range that Shane mentioned. So. All right, anybody else have any updates for anything fall line related? All right. Chet, do you have anything you want to add?
Yes, sir. I guess just tangential to this meeting is we're reviewing internally the applications for FY23 to 26. There are some of the fall line projects included there. So that's in process, and I'll come back to TAC.
Very good. So future topics, I guess we'll stay along these same themes for the next meeting. Hopefully we'll be able to get participation from all the jurisdictions. I think we have a CVTA TAC meeting next
14th.
Yeah, the 14th. So we can certainly update the group there. In the meantime, as Liz mentioned, we have the fall line design guide working group kickoff meeting this Thursday at 1. So hopefully everybody will be able to participate in that. And that's all I had. So what else anybody have for the good of the order?
I don't recall, but is there a scheduled Friends of the Fall Line meeting too that's coming up? I think I might have seen that.
Good question. I don't see one on my calendar for February, but they just had one last month, so I'll certainly be on the lookout for that.
How far out do you want to look at for scheduling the next meeting?
I would say 3 to 4 weeks again. If y'all could send out a when is good, and we will try to make sure we send out a reminder in advance of the meeting so that everybody knows about it.
Yes.
And
We may have information about the budget by then too.
Correct. And then any feedback any of the member localities have regarding internal conversations they have on preferences for project delivery. Would be good. And I will continue to follow up with the other localities as well. So otherwise, looks like we're done in less than a half hour. Don't know if that's good or bad. So. And thank you for everybody for participating. And yeah, if y'all could send out when is good for the next meeting, maybe following the meeting for the full authority on the 25th. So put us in the first week of March potentially. And then it's a TPO meeting that week. So either that week or the second week of March would be good.
We'll do that. We should be able to fit it in that first week.
Very good.
Okay.
All right. Anybody have anything else? All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thanks.
everyone.
Thanks.